Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to welcome the students from Maasai Girls Secondary School to this great house. Mr. Speaker, sir, last Saturday, we hosted the 56th Madaraka Day celebration in Narok, and the students in the school played a big role, and I'm quite happy that they came here today so that they can be able to see how we interact issues, how we debate on matters, and I want to encourage them to be able to pick ideas from each and every senator here who speaks. If you listen carefully, you will understand that we all speak differently. We have different ideas on how we see things. I think the petition that we're talking about, those are the things that come here. And I hope that when you go back to Narok, you can be able to aspire to be in this house so that you can be able to bring in change. Because, Mr. Speaker, sir, the future of this country depends on these young girls. And the school is such a great school. I've got a lot of good stories when I was growing up. It was directly opposite Narok Boys High School where I went to school, but those are for another day. And I want to welcome you and also remind you that I will be visiting you with, hopefully, a lot of these senators, including the Speaker. So welcome to the Senate and enjoy your time here. Rise to support the petition, but from the onset, I'd like to welcome the students from Bungoma and encourage them to continue visiting the Senate and also the other House of Parliament so that they can be able to aspire to be here in future. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the issue of the petition, I'm a little bit baffled, and my take is going to be completely different. Failing an exam does not mean it's the end of the world for you. Mr. Speaker, sir, it will be ridiculous for us to encourage failure, because when you look at the panel that marks the exam from the Council of Legal Education, it is made up of professional lawyers. It is made up of people from the State Office, from the DPP, and also from the Council of Legal Education. There's a big problem here, Mr. Speaker, sir. And this came in a few years ago when people were talking about taking away the mandate of the Kenya School of Law and giving it to private institutions so that they can be it can spread such that any person can go to, let's say, Nairobi University, attend a law school in Nairobi University, and then go to a similar arrangement like the Kenya School of Law, and then go out and practice. What we need to look at when we are looking at this petition when they are brought into this house, Mr. Speaker, sir, is how true. If it is an issue of money, they are talking about 15,000 shillings here being paid to recite an exam. How was that student performing when he or she was at Nairobi University or any other university in this country before they went to the Kenya School of Law? Because I personally feel that there has to be a different entity that sets out exams. If the petitioners are arguing that since the time when now the exams are being set up by the Council of Legal Education, that is when the exams, students started failing, then we have to figure out, were the exams which were being placed by the Kenya School of Law, were they accurate, and were there any favorism? I think it is important, because even when we start exams, when we're in college and we start our exams, even KCPE in high school, that exam is not set up by the same school that you attend to. There is an entity that is tasked with putting up that exam. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have to be careful. I know that there are issues the petitioners are raising here in terms of auditing the finances. That is the work of the Auditor General. And I'm aware that there is an audit being carried out after the former director of Kenya School of Law, Professor P.L.O. Lumumba, left and the new director came in place. They invited them to carry out a forensic audit of the finances. So this, we have to separate the two. Are the students failing because they did not prepare, or are they failing because there is some sort of like a cartel movement that want to be responsible for who comes out and practice? So we have to interrogate this. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I would urge that the committee that you'll task with this, which is a legal committee, for them to look at those. Let them audit the process of carrying out these exams. Is that process fair? Is it sound? Or is it better if it is being carried out by the Kenya School of Law? Mr. Speaker, sir, I support.